New details on alleged jailhouse confessions from the man accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi. Today, the jury heard testimony from a psychologist describing what she says Allen told her about the murders. Thanks for joining us here first at 4. I'm Nick McGill.
And I'm Dan Spieler in for Aaliyah. Day 11 of testimony in the Delphi murders trial. Russ McQuaid has been in the courtroom throughout the trial. He joins us live with the breaking details first at 4. Russ?
Well, good afternoon, Dan. You know, this is the second day in a row that jurors in this courtroom have either seen a videotape of Richard Allen protesting his innocence or listened to testimony that came from behind prison walls of Richard Allen admitting his guilt in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German 7.5 years ago near the Monon High Bridge. It was nearly 2 years ago in October of 2022 when Richard Allen entered the Westfield Correctional Facility in solitary confinement. That's a maximum security state prison. After 5 months inside, he told his psychologist, Dr. Monica Walla, that he had found God and wanted to confess to the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German on February 13, 2017, near the Monon High Bridge east of Delphi. Dr. Walla testified that Allen told her in specific chronological detail that as a recovering alcoholic, he drank 3 beers that day, followed the girls onto the bridge, quote, messed with his gun, which is when he thinks a bullet fell out of that weapon, ordered the girls down the hill and sought to rape them because he thought 13-year-old Abby and 14-year-old Libby were between the ages of 11 and 18. He said he saw a van approaching that scared him. Then he forced the girls across Deer Creek, slashed their throats, but stayed with them long enough to assure himself that they were dead and wouldn't suffer, then covered them with tree branches and walked back to his car. Allen told the psychologist he had remorse and wishes he could change what happened, wanted to apologize to the families of the victims and his own family, and blamed his problems on child sexual abuse, both as a perpetrator and a victim. His exact quotes to the psychiatrist were, "I didn't do everything I said I did, but I killed Abby and Libby, and I just want to sign my confessions, and I need to let my wife go." In the afternoon session, Dr. Walla told the jury she diagnosed Allen with serious mental illness while he was in prison confessing to the murders, and that his mental health struggles began in April of 2023. About the same time, he was meeting with his attorneys and receiving legal documents and details of the case that was being built against him. And while she didn't know what information Allen was learning, the doctor speculated that his deteriorating condition and confessions could be due to guilt over the crime and the awareness of the future that he might face. Nick?
You know that Kathy Allen is in the courtroom there. What was her reaction to her husband's confessions?
Well, today there was no reaction because she's heard it before. She's heard it in multiple phone calls that came from him inside the prison in 2023. However, Dr. Wallace said it was later in the summer of 2023. She was listening in on a phone call between Allen and his wife, and she said at the time, "Stop confessing, hang up the phone." She hung up. Allen turned to Dr. Wallace and said, "She doesn't believe me." Nick and Dan?
All right, Russ, thank you. Of course, we'll stay on top of any new developments that come from the trial, and we'll have an update both on air and online as we continue to learn more.
And as heartbreaking details are revealed in this trial, it's important that we don't lose sight of what this is all about. These 2 girls who lost their lives far too soon. Abby Williams and Libby German were 8th graders who went to Delphi Community Middle School. Abby was 13, Libby was 14. They were best friends, and they're leaving behind a heartbroken community determined to keep their memory alive.